Good morning, and on this 13th day of our trip in Europe, we are now back in Germany, in Heidelberg, the home of fairy tales, if I remember correctly, and we are just checking out this crazy bridge, the Heidelberg Old Bridge, as well as the castle that sits on the side of the hill. We did a little walking through the downtown area, I guess you could say it. I mean, it was the church area, so typically that's like your downtown, I think. Like, that's the center of town typically for most European places, if I'm not being too broad or generalist here. We were just kind of chilling. Now I think we're about to take off here, so next is Frankfurt. So I don't know actually too much of what we're doing today, so we'll check it in a moment here. All right, till the next stop.
Alright, so we're here at Paulaner am Dom, which is Paulaner by the church here in Frankfurt, and I ordered the apple Kalte, which is apple lemonade with alpine herbs. So they gave me 2 straws. It's stuck in here, which is kind of cool. Looks really fancy, but let's see. It tastes like a sauce. Like applesauce. It tastes like applesauce with, you can barely taste any mint, but it's sour apple. It's extremely sour apple. Yeah, because the lemonade added with the apple, it just tastes like really sour green apple. Not too much mint in there. I think they need to muddle it more, because you can see it's just whole leaves. So, yeah, you want to try, Joe?
Sure.
It's very eye-opening.
It's good. It's refreshing.
Yeah, very much so.
Like you said, there's not much going on with the mint in there, but you can taste the lemon and the apple. That's really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the citrus that makes it refreshing, though. Like, I think anything with citrus in it just makes you feel better. Anyhow, we'll check back in once the food is here.
Alright, so we've already kind of jumped in because we're hungry, but our food arrived, and I got we got from Mom the sausage symphony, which consists of currywurst, Nuremberg wurst, and a bunch of different sausages, along with roast potatoes and sauerkraut, and then sweet mustard, regular mustard, and ketchup. And then I got the Frankfurter Schnitzel, which is escalator pork breaded with a 7-herb sour cream, which is really good. And it's also served with roast potatoes on the side, and it also has a side salad. So they're quite nice. Let's go ahead and dig into the schnitzel, because I've not tried it yet. So I've already spritzed the lemon on. Let's just try it plain. It's hot. Super crunchy. Really juicy. It's like dripping. Let's try it with the sauce. This is really good. I've been dipping vegetables in the sauce because it's a 7-herb sour cream. But I think with this, because it's savory and hot, I would prefer another hot sauce rather than a cold sauce. I'd say the Jaeger Schnitzel is probably a little better. But this one's, it's different, you know, like it's Frankfurt's version, right? So it's still quite good in general.
Sure. So, Thank you. I'm going to start with the schnitzel. Just cut this piece of carrot real quick.
Homemade. Yeah, just schnitzel.
Definitely it's a schnitzel. Alright, with the sauce.
It's like dipping it in vegetable dip.
Yeah, that's good. I think the Jaeger would have been better as well. But it does keep like the creaminess in, and it enhances the flavor of the meat. That's for sure. All right, let's try some potatoes. It's normal.
Yeah, roast potatoes. Very acceptable. I want to try an edge of one of the sausages.
Yeah, so
It's currywurst.
currywurst. Okay, so we had currywurst in Berlin as well. That was totally different. Like this was just like eating a hot dog, like an American hot dog. Try cutting off a little bit of whatever. I think this is supposed to be the Nuremberg, although it looks very, very different than the Nuremberg.
The Nuremberg sausages looked like breakfast sausages.
Yeah.
Trying, but not the same, huh?
It tastes like a breakfast sausage. So, what's this white one then? A bratwurst. We've got a quick shot right here. It smells like chicken.
Does it taste like chicken?
It's very light in flavor. There's almost no flavor to it.
Interesting. Right.
Alright, and then what is this guy?
I don't know, but it tastes really good. This tasted more like the Nuremberg one.
Okay, give that a shot right there. I agree.
Yeah, tastes really good.
Again, I would say very light on flavor though.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost think that they tasted the same, and then finally this Polish sausage looking one is
Getting
it smells like a hot dog Polish sausage from Costco.
That's funny. Yep.
And it tastes exactly.
It looks like it. That's
It's
funny.
good. But I like it, so it's good.
Yep.
And they got rid of it, so.
Yep. Well, I mean, we could buy it, but they just don't serve it fresh
They
anymore.
don't serve it as the single. It's the longest lasting item. Alright, and lastly, I'm just going to do a little bit of sauerkraut. If I had to say the one thing that I was never disappointed about at this whole trip was sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's always been solid whenever we had it.
Yep.
But alright. Yeah, I think we're just going to finish up here and then head on to the next checkpoint. So we'll check back in a moment here.
that you foretold. Watch the stars when I'm gone.
Alright, and I'm currently standing on the Iron Bridge in Frankfurt, and we just came from finishing up lunch. We went to Römerplatz right after that, where we saw the main Frankfurt church in there, as well as, I believe it's the town hall. If not, I'll correct myself, but we just decided to walk just a little further so that we could see this Iron Bridge, which is apparently famous. It has actually all those love locks. Almost every bridge we've been on had them, though. I don't know if I should have been mentioning that or not, but they are here. And now we're gonna go see the world's longest escalator and buy some souvenirs. So we'll check back in a moment here. Alright, so Mom and Lynn had to go use the restroom real quick. They're actually using the restroom that's at the base of that elevator right there, which is kind of an interesting thing. It says Toiletten on the side of it. Very interesting. Or different. And speaking of different, they also had this small bus that came by just now, which was pretty crazy. It's driverless. It kind of reminds me of the Tokyo Toyota bus that goes around. And that was super interesting to see. With no driver, it came by. There was a bicyclist that cut it off. It stopped. There was people that ran in front of it, and it stopped. People were like really trying to test it out. I just caught like kind of a very, very brief clip of it driving by, but yeah, I just wanted to add that in before we hit up the actual longest escalator in the world at that shop. So, all right, check back in a moment.
When I am
So currently I'm riding the world's longest escalator, apparently. I don't know how much I would believe about that, but I'll let Lynn's little video go about this in just a moment here, so I'll check back in a moment.
Alright, so apparently this is the expressway, according to them. This is the really, really, really long one. And I think... let's find out, shall we? So this is 40. God, I don't know what that sound is. Yeah, that would be it. That's the one.
after all that we've been through.
And there's restrooms. Huh, very cool.
Alright, so we looked it up. That elevator behind me, or escalator rather, behind me, is not the world's longest. It's not even close. It's 46 meters, which is pretty long, but it's not even the longest in Germany. It's the longest in Germany is in Hamburg. The longest in Europe is in England, and we didn't look to see where the longest in the world is, but I think that was just good enough. We did all this while chilling at a Starbucks. They had this weird Starbucks reserve wall in the back. I was able to get drip coffee, or I'm sorry, pour over coffee, which I'll just tag that in at the end here. of this video. We have the entire thing from beginning to end, I think. Lynn was filming it, so I don't actually know. But I got that. Lynn got a coffee and tonic. It was all really nice. So yeah, we'll check back in a moment here once we get to our next big thing. All right, peace. Okay, so back in America again, in my kitchen actually. And I just wanted to mention that we were walking on our way back to our car from the elevator, or escalator, rather, at the mall MyZeil, I believe it is. And we kind of were just bubbling around, and we ran into a very cool, like, MyScience place inside of the mall. And this was like a place where you could go and try all these different like little science experiments that they had. It was free to get in, free to do. Very awesome idea. Lynn and I were kind of blown away that they would do this just for the public. It's a awesome idea, and we went and tested a few of the things out before leaving that mall. And once we left the mall, right across the street, there was a Samsung office, or store rather. And that kind of surprised us because they were advertising all over, and it was not even out really. People were doing pre-orders, but the Samsung Fold was available for you to go kind of handle and touch and play with. So we walked inside there and played with a brand new Samsung Fold, which was pretty neat. After doing that, we then went ahead and just started walking back to the car. And we passed kind of this like mini Oktoberfest type area. I don't even know if it's really an Oktoberfest. It could just be a Christmas market. But they had a couple of things that we really wanted to try, or just really wanted to have again. Lynn fell in love with the Hefeweizen, which is this kind of young wine. It's wine that hasn't been fully like finished yet. So it doesn't have like the sharpness or the dryness of a wine. It's actually kind of like alcoholic juice, and it was really nice. I wanted Glühwein or hot wine, and they had that. So we stopped off at this little place that had a Hefeweizen symbol, and we just got a hot wine and a Hefeweizen, the young wine. And Mom wanted to have another bratwurst, so Lynn went to go grab another one, and then we kind of just split the three. Mom was chatting to the lady at the alcohol stand where we got the wine, because she was from Thailand, and Mom was like just totally enthralled with that. So she wanted to know why she moved to Germany and all that. Or not Germany, but France and all that. And it was really cool. And I'm sorry, it was Germany. I say France, but we're in Frankfurt. So after that, we go ahead and get in the car and make our way on to the next stop. So I'll continue from there. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we got this little glimpse in, because it was a really neat little area in front of this mall. So good times. Be back in a moment. And we have made it to our final hotel here in Frankfurt, the Mercer Hotel, Mercer Hotel Airport Langdon. There's 3 Mercer hotels near the airport here. So we actually got lost on the first time, but whatever. We finally eventually made it to the appropriate one. The gentleman at the previous hotel was kind enough to not only tell us which one we had to go to, but to check us in, or to make sure that we were able to get checked in still from his hotel, which was kind of cool. And we did a little walk around here. We found out that it was 15 euros to park in their underground garage, and that it was 6 euros to park in their outdoor garage, and then it was free to park on the street. And this hotel is like empty right now, because we walked out to the street, which was a little bit of a distance, and you could see it here, but there was like 4 cars on the street. So we just parked on the street and locked it and came back in. You get 2 hours free on the underground, which is where we originally parked, and then moved it up to the street, parked it right there, had no issues. Now, previous to coming here, we did mail back our Hippo Wi-Fi device, the MiFi or MiFi device, and I will say that was not really as reliable as we'd like it to be. Now, of course, I can't fault it for when we're in the middle of the Alps or in the middle of the mountains and it doesn't work. Like, you know, when we're in the middle of the Black Forest, it got zero service. When we were in Neuschwanstein, we got zero service. You know, we were in the middle of the mountains at that time, so that makes sense. But when you're in the middle of a city or a town and you don't get any service, so there's no internet, that's kind of like inappropriate in my opinion. But it worked good enough. I will say at kind of the final deal here where we were actually coming into this hotel, it kind of just stopped working, and so we were like happy to kind of just return it, which it comes with a return envelope, and so we just stuck it back into its return envelope and shipped it off with all the accessories. And before we actually returned the internet, I should say, we went and had dinner at this little Chinese place that was over on the far side of Frankfurt from where we were at, kind of the financial district, and it was mediocre. It wasn't the best Chinese food that we've had while we were here, and I think it was just more of something that was kind of home, because we did have two really kind of foreign meals today, the French breakfast and the German lunch. And then, so Chinese dinner, why not? We got stir-fried morning glory, I believe it is, and fatty pork belly, which was really nice, with preserved vegetables. And Lynn wanted chow fun, but it actually ended up looking a lot like pad thai. The noodles were super tiny. It was extremely oily. Wasn't all that great. We also had steamed rice and jasmine tea. I have to say, the most interesting thing that happened while we were at the restaurant was that they had this like super parade going on in China, and CCTV, whatever the Chinese cable company is, they were playing it on the TV, like this large screen at the restaurant. We were able to watch most of it, and it was pretty intense. They had a ton of floats and just hundreds, if not thousands, of people in this parade, which was kind of interesting to watch, but kind of got us our minds off the food, which was just meh. And then the last thing we did for Frankfurt as a tourist, I guess you could say, is we went to the kind of the European Financial Center for the Euro, and we caught a glimpse of the big Euro symbol or a statue with the 13 stars representing the 13 original countries that were that adopted the euro as their financial system. That being said, we then ended the night, had dinner, came back or returned the internet via the post office, and came to the hotel. Now this hotel is super swanky. Like, it's really nice. They just said that they remodeled, so they just finished remodeling, and we'll do a room tour in a second here. But downstairs was quite fancy. The whole front desk, it has this old kind of like saloon style feel. This hotel's also a conference hotel, so they actually had this huge long hallway that we walked down and looked at all these conference rooms. We actually were able to get into some, and I didn't film in any of them just in case we weren't supposed to be in them, but they did have free sodas and water in there. Not that we took any, but still, it was kind of interesting to see. The conference rooms were quite small, so it wouldn't be for a large conference, and the halls probably has like, what, 12 conference rooms in total. Let's go ahead and get into the room tour right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the room tour. All right, so we are in room 212, non-smoking. It's just been renovated apparently. Opens up with the sink and toilet. Right there, there's a closet. Right here, with your standard items. No safe. Interesting. Here's the bathroom situation. So there's a heater to dry your towels, your standard toilet, standard shower. And then once we go around here, we have just your general room. 2 beds, or 3 beds, I'm sorry, and a desk with and then a TV next to it on a drawer system. Anyhow, so that's what the room looks like. So I guess this is kind of the last night here in Frankfurt, and I think we'll just go ahead and finish it off here. Tomorrow's a travel day. We leave at about 8:30 in the morning, our flight to New York, and then once we land at JFK, we have a few hours there before we have to go to, get back on the plane and fly another 6 hours about to San Francisco. And that'll be the end of this trip. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to go take a shower and get ready for bed and wake up tomorrow for breakfast. Good night.
So he already pulled excuse on before he could start filming. Do we got hot water?
You can smell it, yeah?
Oh, it smells awesome, thank you.
coffee?
I don't know anything about this one. My brother asked me to order a medium to light roast if you had it, so I just ordered the Rwanda. I know that I prefer Peru.
Peru?
Yeah, I used to work for another coffee shop and they had Peru, and it was quite good.
Till now we didn't have the Peru coffee. I hope next year I think.
It's delicious. I really like it.
Not the first time when we drink is that one, yeah? And now we wait.
Of course. What is in that? Oh, I have it already, but I don't know what it is.
The cold brew, you know, the cold brew coffee with ice cubes and the tonic water, yeah?
Oh, okay. We don't have that in America.
You're from America?
Yes, I'm from San Francisco.
San Francisco, right. So, you do the holidays here, or?
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun, I think.
Yeah.
There you have a lot of drinks which we don't have, so you are not the single one who's came in here and keep asking about some drinks, some syrups also, but
oh no, I'm not gonna go for that.
We don't have. I know it's the same company, but Germany is a little bit different.
Oh, of course.
Also, if you go in Switzerland, yeah?
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
They have a different drinks. The food also is different. It's not the same. some information about the one that was.
Thank you very much.